All right, welcome in. It is Friday, the final total bases before the All-Star break. We've hit the literal home stretch. It's the last show that we're going to do until next Friday because there's no games after Sunday until next Friday. So we've got to make it a good one. 16 games. I was actually surprised to see a doubleheader today, especially in the division. Usually they don't do that, but who knows? Maybe Chicago doesn't make the trip to Cleveland the rest of the year. So we've got a full slate, and we're going to get started with what I'm going to make this the feature game. I think this series has gained in importance now, Bryan Leonard. Cubs Yankees, Yankee Stadium. What a crazy finish to that Yankees Mariners game last night. A no-hitter into the eighth inning that turned into a walk-off win for the Yankees. The Cubs did bounce back, but suddenly those Brewers are on their tail. They could, if the Cubs don't get something out of this series, Bryan Leonard, they could go into the All-Star break in second place in the NL Central. If you told me that a couple weeks ago, I would not have believed that was possible. But here we are, Cubs Yankees, Yankee Stadium. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, the Cubs got off to such a great start. They've been something we just expect that to continue all season long, and they haven't been. But I really like this Cubs team. I think eventually they're going to win this division and be a threat in the playoffs. They got Flexen going today against Carlos Rodon. Chris Flexen is a guy who they've threatened to put into the starting rotation because he's done so well. Very similar to what Kansas City had done with Bubic last year. But Bubic and Flexen are two different pitchers. I've watched him pitch. He's been a little bit lucky in my regard, so I don't know if that's going to work out. Yankees prohibitive favorite, though. They're coming in about a 180 favorite with a total of 9. Mentioning Chris Flexen, this year, keep in mind, this year he's been in the bullpen the entire time. 0.83 ERA, 3.26 expected, 0.86 whip. The reason why I'm skeptical is in his career, he's got a 4.75 ERA and 1.46 whip. He's never been anything but basically a 4A player. But the reason is his strikeout rate. He's never had a good strikeout rate. Last year it was 17.4. The year before it was 15.9. Keep in mind, he was starting. When you go to the bullpen, you can just let it out. Well, he's letting it out at 13.9%. That is not good. That is terrible for a strikeout pitcher. Obviously, with the walk rate, he's got a strikeout minus walk of 7.3. Not very good. You take a look at his StatCast page. He's second percentile strikeouts, fifth percentile whiffs. He is good with the barrel and the hard hit rate. He's been very good in that regard. But if you can't strike somebody out, more balls are in play. And that means your defense. And I don't like those type of pitchers. I don't want to wish bad luck on anybody, but I think he's hit his peak so far this year. Carlos Rodon, 3.30 ERA, 3.12 expected, 1.03 whip's been very good. Got poor extension, but his whip percentage is in the 89th percentile, strikeout rate 85th, expected batting average 89th. Let's take a quick look at his splits here. Home games, 3.25 ERA, road games, 3.36. Very good there. If we remember last time out, he faced the Mets and he got hit hard. Gave up 6 earned runs in 5 innings. Before that, he'd had some pretty good starts, but he got hit by the Red Sox. And so it seems that he seems to get hit worse with good hitting teams. But, he's played a lot of good hitting teams lately. The Mets, Toronto, the Reds can be a good hitting team at times. The Angels, home runs, Boston twice. So considering who he's faced, I think he's done a pretty good job. I prefer the Mets here, but the Yankees here. I just can't lay that number. It's just too high for me.
So the way I approach this one, the first thing I look at is the starting pitchers and how does Flexen have a 5.0 record with an 0.83 ERA? So dig a little deeper, and he's been basically doing spot duty here and there. He hasn't pitched 5 innings or more the entire season. I think the longest he's gone is maybe 4 innings, 3.5, or 3.1, 3.3, 3 2/3, maybe. So how has he racked up these wins? He's probably just been opportunistic and come in at a good time. He has an 0.86 whip. He has an 0.83 ERA, but that's not who he is. He is not a good pitcher, and I don't see how his numbers are this good. But then when you look at it, he's only going in as a reliever 1 inning at a time, so that might explain it. I don't know if their plan is to leave him in as a starter or if he's going to be like an opener for 2 to 3 innings. I don't know that information. Maybe Adam knows. We'll hear from him in a minute, but he's not a good pitcher. And both of these lineups are hitting really well, especially the Yankees hitting really well. The Yankees bullpen is underperforming terribly. And I think we have a potential to see some runs in one. Rodon is a very hot and cold guy. He can give up 6 runs and then he can come back and give up no runs for 2 straight starts. So he's very hot and cold. But I think both of these lineups are going to be able to score some runs. I don't like either bullpen that much. And I really don't like flexing here. If he's going to stay in more than 3 innings, I think he's going to get bombed. So the over would be the only way I would go. Maybe even an over in the first 5. I haven't bet it yet, but I might.
Jake says, why does Adam look so angry? Adam's angry because he had the Diamondbacks last night and they went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. No, I actually, that was just my face of deep thought because I was trying to kind of look up some numbers to this game. And so not angry, although I am mad at that Diamondbacks loss last night. As far as this game is concerned, I'll talk about Chris Flex. I'm not Tokyo Brandon. I'm not going to tolerate Chris Flex and slander on this show.
What?
Former Doosan Bear. Listen, hey, there's something to these guys.
Brandon Waddell, former Doosan Bear. Brandon
Waddell's had a pretty good season this year. Here's why these guys like Eric Lauer, Ben Lively, Eric Fetty, the reason a lot of these guys are having success when they come back from Korea is because they go to Korea and they're allowed to pitch full games, right? They're getting, not only are they getting the opportunity to make a few more dollars than they would in the US, they're getting the opportunity to go out there and throw 100 pitches per game, every game, and they develop more as pitchers. So Flexen's now been back for a while, right? He's been back since like 2021. I think he's been back in the majors for like 4 years. Well, majors, minors, but he's in my opinion, he's become a serviceable big leaguer. Now you made a point. How long is he going to be in? My guess is 3 to 4 innings here based on how long he's pitched at the minor league level and the fact that they've used him a little bit out of the bullpen. I would not give the Yankees more than 1 look at him. Like that's where I think that they could get into trouble. So if he does, I'm going to give you a great example to yesterday because another play I had a 1-2 day yesterday. And of course I lost the Mets in game 2 of the doubleheader. It played out exactly as I hoped it would, but something they did, the Mets made a mistake in my opinion. They let Brandon Waddell go through the order a second time, and Jordan Westburg got him for a 2-run homer. And that's what's going to happen to Chris Flexen here. It's going to depend on how cute the Cubs try to get with him against this Yankee lineup. Once through, I think Flexen's throwing it good. He's throwing it great as a reliever right now. So first time through the Yankees order, especially after the way they won last night, coming back, walking it off, I could see like him getting through this order once without issue. It's if the Cubs decide to let him go through this order a second time is where you could see a crooked number from the Yanks. Now, they might not need to do that because remember, Sunday is the end of the first half, which means teams are going to have some options with pitching, right? Like you actually might see a starter in some of these games pitch in a bulk inning role because they're not going to make a start Monday or Tuesday. So you got to kind of look at who's available and what teams have going on with starting pitching. If you've got your 4th or 5th starter and they're not in line to pitch until quote unquote Monday or Tuesday, that means they're not going to pitch until Friday. So you actually might have deeper bullpens in some of these scenarios because you want to get a guy a couple innings before he doesn't pitch until next Friday. That's something I'm going to kind of have to comb through with this game. I think the Cubs are value here, especially if the Yankees take money like they did yesterday. Thankfully, I didn't go back and bet the Mariners yesterday, Brian Leonard. But they took some money, like you said they might. If the Yanks take money here and I can get Cubs plus 1.5, get it down to like minus 120, minus 115, that might be a bet I have to make here. But that's kind of how I see this game playing out. All right, we have someone on Twitter. Hannah from Twitter says, hey, I can't watch it on YouTube right now, but I'd love to talk Pirates Twins. And Jake here, who also pointed out that I look absolutely miserable. I'm going to try to keep the smile on my face the rest of the show. Says Skeens versus Joe Ryan today. Going to be fun to watch. Brian Leonard, I don't know if I have a bet here, but he's right. This is going to be a heck of a game to watch. What do you think, Pirates Twins?
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Skeens against Ryan. Currently Minnesota with Ryan. It's about a 117, 118 favorite. Total 7 to the under 20 or 6.5 to the over about 25. So they don't expect many runs here, and I don't either. It's just been a situation where both these guys have been very good. My mouse is really acting up today on my computer here, so hopefully it'll settle in a little bit. But yeah, you got two excellent starting pitchers. There are rumors out there right now that Joe Ryan is on the trading block. There's been some teams that have inquired about him, and so this may be a last start. He pitches for Minnesota, which I'd hate to see because he's been there pretty much his entire career, and he's been great for them. Paul Skeens with the 4-7 record, 1.94 ERA, 2.53 expected, 0.92 WHIP. He's graded everything except for maybe hard hit rate, 55th percentile in that regard. Everything else is in the 60s and higher. Barrel rate 91st, expected ERA 96th, fastball velocity 96. We know we're going to get out of them. Let's take a look if my okay, there we go. Let me take a look at his splits on the season. Home games 2.31 ERA, 1 win. On the road a 1.65 ERA, 0.95 WHIP. He's actually been better on the road than he has been at home, and it's a good pitcher ballpark in Pittsburgh. But if you could take that to the road and be even better, that's pretty amazing. Joe Ryan, 2.76 ERA, 3.17 expected, 0.89 WHIP. He has just been terrific the last 2 years. Last year was a 3.6 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. Even as good as he has been the last 2 years, his record is 15-11. He hasn't gotten a lot of support offensively from this Twins team, and that's been their problem all year. Up and down offensively, more down than up. Ryan's weakness, barrel rate, 16th percentile, chase rate, 19th. But he's very good. Doesn't walk anybody, 90th percentile, and he's in the 87th strikeout percentile. So obviously what we look for, and I've talked about this many times, strikeout minus walk ratio, 23.4. Excellent. We look at Paul Skeens, 21.1. So we've got two elite pitchers, two teams that have had trouble scoring for the most part of the year, although they have shown some upwardness lately in the hitting department. But as long as you can get 7, I think that is obviously the key number. If it's 3-3, somebody scores around that 7. I like that. Also, the under, by the way, is what I like. Also, if you take a look at the first half, we got a number of 3. That one may actually be a little bit better. That way you don't have to deal with the bullpens. It wouldn't be often I'd play an under 3, but every time I say that and I watch the Skeens game, that's what it is low-scoring games. So either under 3 first half, under 7 full game. I expect these two pitchers to shine in this one.
I have Skeens ranked number 2 in all of MLB of all starting pitchers. And if you look at his numbers, he's only allowed 10 earned runs in his last 10 starts. That's pretty amazing. And he actually had what by his standards would be called a clunker game against Milwaukee, where he gave up 4 runs. So you could literally say he's given up 6 runs in his last 9 starts if you throw that game out. It's amazing stuff. WHIP is great. The one problem with Skeens is the team almost never gives him run production or run support. There's no way a pitcher this good should be 4-7. If he played for a team with even a semi-decent lineup, he'd probably already have 10 wins by now. That being said, he doesn't have a history against this Twins team. I have the Twins batting. I have both of these teams batting under mediocre levels. I have both bullpens pretty good. Both starters are really good. Joe Ryan, what stands out for me is how he's performed against these Pirates in his career, a 194 average against, a 688 OPS, although he does give up a few more runs than Skeens. Not much more. He's not in my top 20 for pitchers, but he just misses the cut. Two really good pitchers. I think the better pitcher plays for the team with the worst lineup, and that always means an under. So if any way you could squeeze an under out of this, I know 7 is pretty tough to take in a Major League Baseball game, but I think you can trust both of these bullpens. So that would be the only way I could go. It'd be tough to take a side here. I don't have either. As a matter of fact, I have these teams 0.2 points apart in the overall rating. That's about as close as it gets. So I'm not going to take a side. Oh, by the way, let me do a promotion real quick. WagerTalk is telling us that they're going to give away 3-day flex pass. How do you enroll for that? If you go to the replay of this video, input your best bet of the day and then your WagerTalk username, they're going to pick a random person, 3 random people, to give that 3-day flex pass to. So go to our replay, give us your best bet and your WagerTalk ID.
Yep, free 3-day flex pass. All you have to do, as Tokyo Brandon said, head over to the replay of the show on YouTube, drop your WagerTalk username, and put your best bet of the day. And they may hit you up and say, hey, you want a 3-day flex pass, which I believe you can use at any time. Doesn't necessarily have to be this weekend. Can save it for the start of the second half. But it's a great contest, and it's free to enter. So take advantage and do that. Sold out crowd at Target Field tonight. Byron Buxton bobblehead night. Okay, maybe a little juice for the Twins. That might be the best angle. That might be the best angle here. I honestly, like, this is one I have it a list here. There's 11 games on my list today, which is absolutely terrifying. That's my short list of these 16 MLB games today. I've got 11 of them. And this was one, Twins Pirates, where I was just like, that is as coin flip as it gets. And there's no value in an under, in my opinion, even though if both pitchers deal, I'm not surprised in the least bit. So I'm just going to move it right along. Yeah. There's just too many games. Go ahead, Brian.
I just wanted to point out Buxton got hurt 2 games ago, didn't play yesterday. It seems like Buxton's luck that he may be injured and not playing this game when it's his own bobblehead day.
The oft injured Byron Buxton, although we really can't be understated how important he is for that Twins team. And that might be your angle. If you wait for lineups, if he's out, that Twins lineup, which doesn't pack a huge punch as it is, man, you take Buxton out of that lineup and it's really just, lacks some teeth, in my opinion. So interesting point there, Brian. I would definitely be looking for lineups before I bet that Twins Pirates game. All right. Brewers team total over from DK. Man, Tokyo Brandon should get a ring from the team if they win this year. The Brewers should be publicly acknowledging Tokyo Brandon if they win this year, because they have been on fire since he said their season was over. And they're going into a series this weekend against the Nationals where theoretically they should be set up for success in this series. Now, Brian Leonard, I don't know. Nationals, they let us down yesterday, but they're a sneaky team and they hit right-handed pitching. They're up against Quinn Priester here. Do you see them getting to Priester at all in this game?
Yeah. It's been a shit week for me overall, and I did have Washington yesterday. Also had Tampa Bay, and that one was just as ugly, if not uglier. So, yeah, I can't wait for this show to be over with so I can get this out of my system. I'm tired of costing people money. But Mitchell Parker, 5-9 record, 4.72 ERA, 5.39 expected, 1.38 WHIP. He has not been very good this year. He's really, while his ERA is taken a step back, his WHIP also, he's just not. If you take a look at his StatCast page, the only positives are extension 83rd percentile, chase rate 71st, but he's not going to get too many chases if it continues with what he's done. Hard hit rate, 2nd percentile, average exit velocity, 3rd, strikeout rate, 6th. Not things you want to see if you're a fan of this Washington team. Quinn Priester, he's had a nice rebirth here this year after coming over to Milwaukee. They've done a fantastic job with their pitchers all season long, and they've got some guys coming back. They had a guy coming back the other day, pitched amazingly. But Priester comes in 6-2 record, 3.59 ERA, 3.78 expected, 1.27 WHIP, ground ball rate in the 95th percentile. This is a pretty decent home run hitting ballpark. That really helps him here. Barrel rate 73rd percentile, but just about everything else is in the blue. Average exit velocity 22nd, strikeout rate 25th. So while he has pitched a little bit better this season, I still have some concerns. That would either point me, as was liked by the viewer, is towards the over. The only problem is I'm more interested in the side. You've got a Milwaukee team, and as much as I like them and Trig likes them, they're coming back home after being on the road. They've been terrific. They're coming home, first game back. Everybody's excited to see them. They're playing a Washington team who got their asses handed to them yesterday. They're pitching a lefty that's not very good. As our friend Marco would say, this would be a fat and sassy situation here for Milwaukee. There's no way I'm laying this high number. We're looking at like a 185, 8.5. I can't lay this favorite. Priester's a much better pitcher than what Parker is. But this is definitely a bad spot for Milwaukee, I think.
I have a 5% play today. So you can go to my page. Bryan will have something out. Adam will have something out. Our pages are down there. wt.buzz/TB for mine. Go grab that. I have a free play up as well. So regarding this game, I think we have one of the most knowledgeable audiences in all of WagerTalk, because you guys have already like blasted out the my lean in this game already. But I'll give you the analysis for it. Milwaukee's bullpen excellent right now. Washington's is not. Mitchell Parker, not a good pitcher. His outside numbers are a lot better than his projection numbers. His away, he's got a 5.66 ERA away, and that's in 41 innings. So it's a good enough sample size to judge him as being poor. And I mentioned earlier that Skeens had given up 10 runs in his last 10 starts. That's what an elite pitcher does. Mitchell Parker has given up 10 runs in his last 3 starts. So that's what a below average pitcher does. So just to give you a comparison, Priester, really good pitcher. I have him ranked 7 on a curve of 30. My numbers do. And that includes his expected numbers as well. He's been good. He's been really good. We don't have a sample size against these batters. He did have a rough game against Miami. He gave up 4 earned. That's not good enough to get you a quality start. But if you throw that out, he gave away 0, 3, 1, 1, 1. He went on a stretch where he gave up 1 or less earned runs in 3 starts. He is legit. His home numbers are good. But, you know, Washington's been cranking it. And we've said this on many, many shows that Washington's one of those teams that the books don't like. I have them ranked number 6 in run production in Major League Baseball. So I really don't want to take a side here, if you understand that English. But just like the chat's been saying, I think Milwaukee's team total over would be the way to go here. I haven't played it yet, but if you can even alt it down to 3.5 from 4.5, I think it's a good play because Milwaukee's hitting the ball fairly well. They're going against who I have ranked almost towards the bottom of all starting pitchers in Mitchell Parker, and he's backed up by a below average bullpen. So yeah, I would agree with the Milwaukee team total here.
Yeah, I wish I had more faith in Parker because Priester, as good as he's been, is the exact type of pitcher this Nats lineup lights up. This is the type of guy that the Nats want to face. It's a right-handed pitcher, doesn't have a great fastball. They're going to go left. They'll probably have 9 lefties in the lineup, and it's, you know, he's not going to be able. So Priester goes like sinker slider the majority of his pitches, which means, like, you know, a lot of them are going to come into the left-handed hitter. It's a little bit easier to handle. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a single right-handed hitter in the lineup tonight for the Nationals. They've done this before where they've been able to go 1 through 9, all lefties. And I think they're going to put together a lineup that's 1 through 9, all lefties, which is tough on Priester. I'm with you, though, TB. I'm not a big Mitchell Parker guy. There's a lot of, like, it wouldn't really surprise me if they lit him up. You know, so as badly as I'd love to, like, play a Nats plus 1.5, because I think they bounced back from last night, and I agree with Bryan, it's a horrible spot for the Brewers. Maybe over 8.5 and just go for runs is the way to go. but this is one I'm going to give some thought to as well. Nats plus 1.5, Cubs plus 1.5 are like both right there for me. I'm going to see how the market bets these games. I'm sure I'll pick the wrong one because that's just how it goes. But anyway, I do see value with the visitors, and I think even though I don't see line value with the over here, that's what I make it 8.5. I think my handicap suggests the over. So if you like the over, I have no way to talk you off of that. Titan CT, my guy. Anytime he's in the show, I got to get Titan CT in here. He has been watching my shows for the better part of the last decade. So shout out to Titan CT. He says, can we discuss Giants Dodgers? Bryan, Leonard, how can we do a Major League Baseball show today without discussing Giants Dodgers? What was one of the biggest, Dodgers Padres have infringed on this rivalry a little bit in past years. It used to be Giants Dodgers was the rivalry out west. I think it gets some legs this year because I think the Giants are going to be around in this race this season in that division. I think they're going to hang, maybe not the division, but they're going to be in the mix for a playoff spot. And I kind of like the Giants here. So I'm going to go to you, Giants Dodgers. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, first thing I looked at when I saw this was I was surprised that Logan Webb was this small of a favorite based on going against May, who has struggled for most of the season, and the way the Dodgers have been hitting lately. Webb comes in with basically a 124 favorite with a total of 7.5. He's been very good. Dustin May, unfortunately, has come back to earth a little bit after an early hot start. It comes in with a 4.52 ERA, 4.76 expected, 1.32 whip. His best numbers are ground ball percentages in the 66th percentile, extension 64, but a lot of his things he needs, he's not very good at. His whiff rate's only in the 18th percentile, chase rate 17th, expected ERA 17th. Coming back from having last year off, still hasn't gotten everything put together as of late, and that is a concern here. The Giants' offense, though, has not been good at all for a while now. They've really been struggling, but they may only need 4 runs in this game to get the victory, 3-4 runs. Logan Webb, 2.62 ERA, 3.19 expected, 1.16 whip. His worst thing is his fastball velocity. He's never been that great of a fastball, 25th percentile. In fact, that's why he throws his four-seam only 7% of the time. That's what I like. I don't like guys that have – if you don't have a better than average fastball, don't use it. And that's what he doesn't. He's learned that for a while, and he's been excellent in that regard. Sinker percentage, he throws 36%, sweeper 26, change 21. He's also got a cutter. This is a guy I like, and we're getting him here at what I consider to be a pretty good price here. So I'm going to go with San Francisco here. So far on the card today, I think this is one of the games that I am heavily considering here. We're getting a pretty good bargain here to go against this Dodgers team, who, to be honest with you, we've talked about all week long. They've been struggling. The games aren't as important to them. It's very important to San Francisco. I like the home team here.
I have Logan Webb ranked number 5, I believe, in all of MLB out of 200 pitchers. So he is elite. He's a great pitcher. And if you look at his walk rate, it's well below average. He's got a great walk rate. Dustin May is a pitcher I don't really like. I liked him until this season, but he's really turned me off this season. I have him ranked 23 out of 30 on a curve of 30 of all pitchers, so he's not performing well. The Dodgers bullpen is not doing anything to inspire anyone to put money on them right now. However, I am not taking San Francisco on a side here because if you look at Logan Webb's stats against these batters in his career, the Dodgers have absolutely tormented him throughout his career. They have a 303 average against him and an 820 OPS in 185 at-bats. So who's been doing most of the damage? It's mostly been Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And although they haven't been performing well, let's say since they got swept by Houston, was it? The Dodgers have just been basically mailing in this first half of the season. They haven't even shown up. They haven't shown up at all. And Teoscar Hernandez is not playing. They're probably holding him out until the second half. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. But if I'm going to play anything, it's really hard to bet against these Dodgers, even though they're just absolutely sucking right now. I would like to take maybe Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman's hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5 in this one. Let me give you a quick pro tip. Don't bet total bases, although our show's called Total Bases. It's great. Bet hits, runs, RBIs rather than total bases, because in total bases, if your guy walks, you lose an at bat, and they're only going to get 4 or 5 at bats in a game. So that's pretty steep thing to lose. So hits, runs, RBIs. It happened to me the other day. I think I had Freddie Freeman. He walked and he got knocked in. So if your guy walks, you can still contribute to your prop. So I'm going to look at those two guys. I haven't bet it yet.
Freddie Freeman right now is hitting like 171 over the last month. He's been in a terrible slump, and Mookie Betts is also not playing well. So when they got to him when they were playing better and they were younger. Those are two guys that are older. But it's good. It's good information to get out there. He did face them once this year, and he went 7 innings, give up 2 earned runs against the Dodgers. I'll take that.
I'm not betting it yet. I will look into it. Yeah. If it happened like 4 years ago, then it's a moot point. Exactly.
Normally I would look at this spot and say, all right, Dodgers just lost 6 straight. Tough to go against the Dodgers here, but I truly believe that their resurgence will not come until after the All-Star break. I think they were a little bit mentally checked out before this road trip. They probably thought that they could go into Milwaukee and get something out of that series. And it's like, just because they've now lost a few in a row doesn't mean it's tough, especially like mid-road trip. If they were going back home here, I think it'd be a little bit different, but they're still out on the road. As Brian Leonard said, these are massive games for the Giants. Like, the Dodgers are fine. They're fine. Even with the 6 straight losses, they still have a 5-game lead on this division. Like, I don't think they're worried in the least bit. And I don't think because they've lost 6 in a row just means that they're going to snap out of it and you're going to get their best effort here on the road in a game that still means probably a little bit more to the Giants. Logan, I think you have a clear edge starting pitching with Webb, as the guys have pointed out. So I don't know if I can bring myself, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here for a second. One, I was one of the I pointed out earlier in the week that you might see the Dodgers sort of, kind of go through the motions into the break. Now they've lost 6 straight. But on the other side, I do have a little bit of pause, like maybe wanting to go against the Dodgers here after they've lost 6 straight. And I didn't bet the Brewers at all. So it's case by case basis, right? Like, had I been hammering away on the Brewers in that series, I'd be running my Brewers money back here with the Giants tonight. Personally, and if the guys want to chime in on this, I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I don't like to play something reactive. Like, if I missed it to get to this point, I don't want to jump in. If I didn't bet against the Dodgers the first 6 times they lost, I don't want to bet game number 7 and have that be the loss. Again, maybe that's a flaw in my handicapping. Maybe it's not. But that's probably what keeps me off the Giants tonight. That being said, I'm with you. It would be Giants or pass for me here. And Colin Gregory in the chat says Giants as well. Do either of you have a follow-up to that? Does that sort of creep into either of your guys' handicapping?
Go ahead, Brandon.
I wasn't listening because I was doing the chat, so I don't know the point you made. Sorry.
That's all right. Let's move on.
I did want to point out, I talked about the other day that the Dodgers, really the only games they had to win were divisional games, and this is a divisional game, so keep that in mind.
All right, let's go to this is the one I want to talk about today. And David Havley in the chat says, thoughts on Sox guards need some early day game action to get the weekend started. Well, you came to the right place, because we always have an opinion on the Guardians and the White Sox on this show. Doubleheader. And the reason I'm interested a little bit here, Brian Leonard, is they tweaked the pitching. So it looks like we're going to have a different pitching matchup in game 1 than we would have had yesterday. I believe yesterday's matchup was Allen against Cannon. I think we're going to get Allen against Smith. Is that? Am I seeing that correctly? In game 1?
Allen, and then Williams and Cannon in the second game of the doubleheader.
Williams and Cannon in the second game. So we'll kick it off with our resident Cleveland Guardians expert and super fan Bryan Leonard. What do you see for your Guardians in this doubleheader today?
I don't know how much of an expert I am. I think I played Houston in every game of that series against them in the last series. So, it has not been going good for myself and my clients as of right now, but hopefully we can turn it around. Allen, a lefty, going up against Smith, the righty here. Allen in game one, basically about a 120 favorite, total of 9. I'm not a Logan Allen fan. I prefer Smith more for Chicago, but his innings are getting up there, and every time he comes out lately, he seems to not be as good as he was earlier in the season. That's kind of what a concern would be for me. Second game, Williams has been pitching much better as of late. He's got a major problem with his whip. He just doesn't go in the zone enough. He's got a great fastball, but he tries to get the corners and everything, gets him in trouble going up against Canning. I like Williams a lot more than I like Canning, but the line in that one is basically a 140 favorite and 8, so you're going to have to pay more in that one. I just don't trust the Indians, Guardians, whatever you want to call them, to win both games to make a profit. I think this is a series going to go 1-1 in this one. Two teams that I don't really care for the offense on, so I got to look for something for the under. The Allen Smith at 9 seems to be a little bit high for me. I kind of like that under if I was to play that. And without knowing what's going on in the bullpens, the second game I can't touch. So slightly to the under 9 at minus 115 here between Cleveland and the White Sox in the first game.
I'm not going to touch the first game, but I'm definitely interested in the second game, and I'll tell you why. I have coined the term chronic walkers, and our friend Gavin Williams is the number one chronic walker in all of Major League Baseball. So how much of a chronic walker is he? Bases on balls per 9 innings on the season, he's 5.07. Bases on balls the last 30 days, he's 5.33. He's cranking up those walks. So I like to bet him his walks when he faces a team that walks 2.5 or more per 9 innings, and the Chicago White Sox definitely fit that bill. They're over 3 walks per 9 in their games. Gavin Williams, over 1.5 walks. I'm going to jump all over it. However, the books have caught on to this, and usually they're going to make him a 2.5 on the over-under. I use DraftKings. I'm not promoting them or anything, but I use DraftKings for my numbers because DraftKings lets you alt the team totals, and they give you a lot of flexibility for your betting in these props. And they do allow walks allowed to be alted. So it's not out yet on DraftKings, but I imagine when it comes out, his 2 or more walks, which is essentially over 1.5, I'm guessing that'll be about minus 300 or something. That'll make a nice parlay piece with a minus 200 favorite on a money line somewhere. So that's how I'm going to approach Gavin Williams. I'm going to find that as a puzzle piece, or somehow I'm going to bet him to walk 2 batters or more. It's almost automatic. Nothing's automatic in sports betting, but this is as close as it gets. So I'm going to use that somehow in a play. And I do have a 5% play out today, guys. So see my page down there. Go ahead, Adam.
Bryan nailed it. The White Sox will win one game of this doubleheader. First of all, Guardians have to be so annoyed that they're playing a doubleheader today. I was shocked to see a doubleheader because typically, they like to avoid doubleheaders, but they really like to avoid the having to do it the next day. Like anytime you see it in a division, interdivision, it's almost always pushed off to a later date. It gives them time to prepare a little bit. And so I was certain that 3 days before the All-Star break, this would have gotten pushed off to a later date, but this might be the White Sox last trip to Cleveland this year. So if it's the White Sox last trip to Cleveland, then it would make sense. Or Major League Baseball just decided, hey, it's Friday, we're going to play the doubleheader. So I think that's difficult for both teams. We're 3 days away from the All-Star break. Now you get hit with a doubleheader. But the reason I think it's much more difficult for Cleveland is they come off of this great series against the Astros. They had a little bit of momentum. Now they get slapped with the rain out. And it's Now you're stuck in Chicago with a road doubleheader. I feel like it killed their vibe a little bit, killed some of their momentum. Whereas the White Sox, right now, their roster is like I've said this 3 times already this week. I'm going to continue to harp on this point because it's very important. Will Venable is running a triple A style team right now where everyone plays. It's all about getting innings in, getting reps. No one's sitting for more than a day. It's just we're going to play everyone. We're going to develop everyone because we are 31 and 62, and we are playing for next year. So he's been doing this for a couple weeks now, where the starting lineup is different every game. There's not one single person on this team that's guaranteed a spot, and they're just rotating in and out. And that's what teams have to do in doubleheaders, because you're typically not going to burn all your guys out and play them both legs of a doubleheader. So the White Sox are like, this is like what they want. This is perfect. They can play 9 people the first game. They could go with 6 different guys the second game if they want to. They can call up a 27th man. Maybe it'll be Peyton Pallette, who's been a really good reliever for them. I don't think he's pitched yet this week at AAA. So they can go 27th man, get themselves another reliever. It's a dream setup for the White Sox, who are just, trying to play ball right now and improve. And as Bryan said, they're going to be plus money in both games. So maybe that's the strategy here. Maybe you just go in with the mindset, I'm going to play White Sox. Maybe this is the strategy. I'm going to play White Sox in game 1. If they win, I'm out. If they lose, I'm going to come back and take the plus money in game 2. I prefer the game 1 matchup a little. Well, actually, that's not even true, because I'd like to. So this is the annoying thing for me, is I want to fade Gavin Williams, but the guy I want to do it with is the game 1 starter. So that's a little bit annoying. I would love to take Smith against Williams. That's not going to happen. So I'll probably find a way in here with the White Sox. I'm just not sure how. And I guess I'll leave it at that. All right, let's move along. So many more games to get to here. I'm going to grab one. Let's go to Mark Kinson. Our guy Mark Kinson says, anyone else like Chase Burns strikeouts today? Well, Brian Leonard, this would be the reprieve, if you will. Chase Burns gets called up 2 starts. After 2 starts at AAA, Chase Burns is thrown to the Wolves, Yankees, Red Sox at Fenway Park. I believe who'd he face after that? The Phillies? It was just like top team after top team. And now Chase Burns gets a home start against the Rockies. So good for Chase Burns. I'll go to you. Can he take advantage of a weaker opponent right here?
If he is, this will be the team to do it. Colorado is, if you take a look at Colorado so far this year, and you take a look at the major strikeouts, when people go off for double-digit strikeouts, Colorado seems to be involved just about every time. It's a young team. They strike out a lot, and they don't walk a lot. So they just get up there and take their hacks. And really, Colorado's searching for anybody. They went back down to the minor leagues, bringing up another guy. We'll see how all that works out. But Marquez against Burns. Burns is expensive. He's about the 240 range right now, total of 9.5. Can't lay 250 with Burns, but I do like the situation on the strikeout. Herman Marquez comes in with a 5.84 ERA, 5.05 expected, 162 whip. He's only thrown 89 innings this year, and he's already got 10 losses. It's been rough for him. It's been rough for the entire team. His what he does well, he doesn't walk a lot of players in the 72nd percentile. Fastball still pretty good, 62nd percentile, but he's in the 1st percentile of pitching run value, 1st in fastball run value, 2nd in extension, 5th in strikeouts, expected batting average 6th. He's just not been good since coming back from injury, and he's a guy I'm looking to fade. Burns, on the other hand, is a guy that comes in with an 8.1 ERA, and he's what did they say the current line is? 240. 8.1 ERA with how many times do you see that? 1.90 whip. His expected ERA, though, is 5.93. Still not the greatest, but his fastball velocity is great. 96th percentile. He's striking out 30.6% of his batters he has faced this year. He's got a strikeout minus walk ratio of 18.4 because still has problems with walks, 12.2%. So he's going to come out here. He's going to try to blow him out. And I think he will. I think that's the best way to play this, is to play the pitcher strikeout over. And since he's only pitched a certain amount of innings, he's gone 3 starts with 10 innings. So, he hasn't really been stretched out a whole lot here, but he was in the minors when he was there. So, I like that. I like the strikeout prop here. We'll have to get to Brandon, figure out what it is and what the cost is. But I'm not a big strikeout guy, but Colorado strikes out against everybody.
So just because a team's bad doesn't mean that they strike out a lot. So you got to be careful about that. But it's a spot you can take advantage of, because it's the way that I won the White Sox pitcher over in the outs the other day, because the White Sox are a bad team and the book slights them, and you get advantageous numbers when they slight a bad team. I forgot who it was that I had the other day, but everyone was congratulating me on the free play. I gave it out on this show 2 shows ago. But anyway, you can take advantage of these things. So do the Rockies strike out a lot is the question. They strike out about 7.6 times per 9, which is about the league average. Now, Chase Burns has a 13.5 K per 9 rate, which is unbelievable. Probably not sustainable. The problem is, how deep is he going to go into the game? So we have to get a little deeper analysis here. He went 5 innings against the Yankees and struck out 8. That's impressive. And the Yankees strike out about the same as the Rockies. So that's kind of impressive. Well, let me make sure about that. The Yankees strike out a little more than the Rockies, but not much. So he had a horrible outing against the Red Sox. He got pulled at 1 out and he gave up 5 runs. He struck out nobody in that. So we can throw that game out as an albatross. But my stats don't throw it out. So I'm going to have to manually do something here, but I'll do it in just a second. Against the Phillies, he went 4.4 2/3 innings and he struck out 7. So the Phillies strike out, let's take a look. Yeah, about the same as the Yankees. So against a team that strikes out about 8 times per 9, he struck out 7 and 8 respectively. Today against the Rockies, I project him at 3, but that's with that horrible game that he had against the Red Sox. So he's averaging only 37% into his starts. But if he finishes 5 innings, it'll be about 55%. So I'm going to say, let's say if he finishes 5 innings, let's just say if he finishes 5 innings, how many strikeouts is he going to get? This is how I do my capping. If he finishes 5 innings, I project him to have 6 strikeouts. So I think the line is 6.5. It's a risky proposition. The Rockies actually are a little more disciplined than the Yankees and the Phillies at the plate. Even though they can't hit, they don't necessarily strike out. So that's how I would approach it. I definitely would not bet his over 6.5, but you can if you want. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about the Brewers and I've been wrong about Seager. So I've been wrong in my past. What do you think, Adam?
I'm going to read off the Albuquerque Isotopes lineup from the other day. I just want to show you, I want to demonstrate what we're dealing with here. Their lineup right now, or the other day, was Amador, Tovar, Veen, Hura, Hilliard, Bouchard, Owen Miller, Drew Romo, Shunk. Okay? You could take that lineup and flip it with the lineup the Rockies have at the big league level right now, and no one would know the difference. It's basically the same thing. They are as close to a triple A team at the big league level that I can personally remember in a very long time. Like that it gets thrown around facetiously, like this team's triple A team. Rarely is that ever the case. I cannot remember a major league team that resembled a top to bottom full roster pitching, everything that resembled a triple A team as much as this year's Colorado Rockies team has. And why do I bring that up right now? Because in the minors this year, Chase Burns had a 1.77 ERA, a 0.77 WHIP, and a 167 batting average against. Before he got called up, here's his 3 starts. So he made his 3 starts in June prior to getting called up. Was Louisville against Scranton, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts. Against the Iowa Cubs, 5 1/3, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. And then his final start at Double-A, 7 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. I don't know if he'll get over like that 6.5 strikeout line seems to be priced appropriately, but he's probably going to pitch good today. So that would be, I don't know what you do with that, because obviously, like, well, do you bet the Reds? They're a huge money line. I don't know that I would advise that. Find a way to play Chase Burns. If you're comfortable with over 6.5 strikeouts, go for it. If you're comfortable with like to record a win, go for it. He's probably going to shove today. That's all I have to say. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I was going to say record a win. Do you have that number, Brandon?
For him to record a win, I do not. Is it available?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either. The record a win props were not on DraftKings when we started the show, but some people in the comments are saying Williams' strikeouts prop is up, so they've probably added some things since we started.
So while I definitely want to start locking parlay legs in, but first, again, it's a free chance to win a flex pass. So go to the comments of the YouTube show, throw your WagerTalk username in, and your best bet for the day. And we've given out, they've been very generous with this. I think they're giving out 3 a show. When I did the promo the other day on my thing, I said they're going to give 3 out total. I'm pretty sure they're giving out 3 on every show. So that means 3 people in the comments for this show will win a flex pass for free. All you had to do is put a comment with your WagerTalk username and your best bet for the day. So go and do that. Brian Leonard, do you want to throw a game out there that maybe you'll use for today's parlay?
Yeah, I'll use
the parlay.
I'll use the parlay. Also, I talked about this yesterday. They've got the second half baseball package up for you right now. $379 gets you the second half of the baseball season, all the way to the World Series. $379, it's a hell of a deal. If you're looking for one of us or any other handicapper on WagerTalk. I'm going to go back to that Pittsburgh game. I checked the bullpens. The bullpens are looking pretty good coming into here. So we talked about this earlier. I'll be short. Pittsburgh under 7 is the way I'm looking in this one. The bullpens are both in pretty good shape. And the current number on that is -120. So I'll play Pittsburgh under 7, -120. And hopefully I can end the week with a victory here and part of our triple play here.
I'll give my leg of the parlay. It's a game we already covered, so I'll do it very quickly. But I like the White Sox in Game 2 against Williams plus 1.5. So it's the Adam Trigger special. White Sox plus 1.5. Brian, do you have a number on that in front of you?
I will have to look for that. I'll hit the button.
I know
here.
your mouse is not working today.
Logic.com.
Maybe your cat stole your mouse.
And okay, the White Sox plus 1.5. Second game
2.
Cannon against Williams, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're looking at about a 153, -153.
I'll take that. My numbers show the White Sox have every advantage, albeit small advantage, but they do have an advantage in every category there, so I like it.
Yeah, and I'll throw just one more point out to that because I very much agree with you. This is a scenario where even if the White Sox win Game 1 of the doubleheader, it doesn't really make me like them less because I truly believe he's got different guys slated for both games, and I don't think the game plays out any differently for them based on what happens in Game 1. I truly believe the plan for Venable is to like literally play every player on his roster, and he would do it either like his Game 2 plan's not going to deviate regardless of what happens in Game 1. So I really agree. That's a good play, TV. I like that. Brian, what was yours again? Just so I can get it.
Adam has never disagreed with a White Sox plus 1.5, by the way.
Under 7, -120.
Under 7, -120. Pirates, Twins. Car Guy Mike. That's an interesting. So I'm not in a state like I've never really done much with prize picks or anything like that. But he says Chase fantasy points is 31.5 on prize. That would be solid. I'm assuming he means prize picks. Yeah, like listen, Chase Burns in daily fantasy, probably a good play today. I don't know if he's undervalued at all because of his 8 ERA. Brian's a fantasy guy. I don't know. Again, I would just look for a way in with Chase Burns. However you can make that work in your head, I think is good.
Adam,
Let's
let
get
me
to,
ask you a question about him.
yeah,
In the
go ahead.
minors, did he go deep into his starts, or
Oh,
was he
he was
like a
just
6 inning guy?
dominant. Just
Yeah.
absolutely dominant. 7 innings,
Okay.
almost every minor league start, 7 innings, just blowing teams away. That's why, listen, that's why the Reds called him up when they did, because they're looking at their team. They're looking at like, hey, we're in this. Like, we'd be doing ourselves a, even if it's at the expense of maybe this kid's confidence, we have to see if he can do that at the big league level, because we're in a race. And if he can go up to the big leagues and do what he just did at AA and AAA in the minors, like, we're sitting on a potential ace. That's why they called him up when they did, because of how insanely dominant he was at the AA and AAA
And
level.
because of that Red Sox start, the books might not be giving him the credit he deserves. This could be the breakout game. Like I said, if he goes 6 innings today, he's going to get that strikeout prop.
Here's one. Let's do another game, and then I'll lock my leg in, and we'll get out of here. Let's go out west. Angels D-backs. Still very salty about the Diamondbacks last night. They had so much traffic on the bases, and 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 10 left on base, end up losing a tough game, 4-3. They come back tonight in a spot that I think favors them again. Bryan Leonard, I don't know. I'm tempted to come back with Arizona, but I don't know if I can do it after last night's debacle. What do you think, Angels D-backs?
Nelson going for Arizona, the lefty Anderson going for the Angels, who continues to find ways to win in this area. Arizona's about a 115 road favorite, total of 9.5 to the under, minus 120. Ryan Nelson on the season, 3.39 ERA, 3.86 expected, 0.98 whip. Very good extension, 84th percentile, fastball velocity pretty good, 72nd percentile. And that's important because he's basically a fastball pitcher. 63% of his pitches are the four-seamer. If he's got the fastball working, he's been tough. But if he can't get it to work, his next best pitch is slider, 82nd, or excuse me, the slider's 12%, cutter 11, curve 10, change 5. So it's really just his fastball. And if you take a look at his average exit velocity, only in the 15th percentile, chase rate 18th, whiff percent 18th. So as much as I've liked him this year, not fully buying in right now. Tyler Anderson, 4.19 ERA, 4.40 expected, 1.38 whip. Very good hard hit rate, 81st percentile, average exit velocity, 79th. His weakness, he doesn't have much of a fastball. He's in the 2nd percentile in fastball, and yet his four-seam is his most popular pitch. He only throws it 38% of the time. He's got a change at 34 and a cutter at 22, and then once in a while he'll throw a sinker or a slider. But if you're throwing your fastball 38% of the time and your velocity is in the 2nd percentile and your ground ball rate is only in the 9th percentile, that's not a good thing. When I take a look at these two pitchers going against the opposition here, I kind of like the over because of that, where the over is 9.5 minus 120. So you can go, they score 10 runs at even money, basically. And that's what you're getting here. And it would not surprise me if we saw that good hitting from both of these teams here. So I kind of like the over, get to 10, get a winner.
I kind of agree with Bryan because Nelson, although his numbers are really good, and actually his expected numbers are also very good, he has a fairly high ERA and a low whip, which means they're not touching him very often, but when they touch him, they're touching him. On the road, he has very poor ERA, 5+. Tyler Anderson has a 5+ ERA at home. So we got one pitcher who's bad at home and is pitching at home, and another pitcher who's bad on the road and is pitching on the road. Two lineups that are, well, Diamondbacks are not really catching fire. They got hot. Now they're a little cold right now, but they have a lot of talent and a lot of power hitting. The Angels are actually hot right now. Fairly hot. I mean, not red hot, but fairly hot. And this Arizona bullpen, although they are recovering from me trashing them all first half of the season, they're still not up to the rank of 15, the Mendoza line. They're a little bit below it. I would think an Angels team total here, because I think the books might be giving Nelson a little too much credit here while he's on the road. Maybe. I have to look into it a little more, but just looking at the numbers and bouncing it off my head, that would be the way I would check more before I bet.
There was once a time, not long ago, you actually go back to last year, where this Diamondbacks team pummeled left-handed pitching. Absolutely crushed lefties. They were number one in every category against left-handed pitching for a lot of last year. And it is a very similar lineup, which is why it's been a little bit surprising to me that so far this year, they haven't been as good. Now, they are approaching being elite against left-handed pitching once again. WRC plus coming into today for the Diamondbacks against lefties is a 99, which is 10th in Major League Baseball. Based on the previous 2 years, so you got to remember, this team played a long stretch of time without Ketel Marte. They played for a stretch without Corbin Carroll. So they have had some guys out, but like the lineup itself is not that much different from last year's lineup that demolished left-handed pitching. So I asked myself, why not? Like, why are they not number one this year? Or why, are they going to get there? Are they going to trend toward that? It certainly matters when you have a guy like Marte out for as long as he was out, at least a month. Carroll, I know he's a left-handed hitter, but I still think he's a plus guy in that lineup. So I look at this and say, Diamondbacks 10th WRC plus against left-handed pitching. I think that's going to get better. I think as you have a full-strength Diamondbacks lineup over the course of the season, based on what they did last year, they can probably only improve. I think they trend toward top 5 against lefties. And the reason I say that is the last 2 seasons, this lineup, which was many of the same guys, just crushed left-handed pitching. So I will make the Diamondbacks my parlay leg. I've been a big fan of Ryan Nelson for a long time. And, even though I haven't found great spots to bet on him for as far as like client plays and stuff, though this might actually make my card. I think he can handle the Angels. I'm not buying the Angels like some others are at this point. So I'll run it back, if you will, with the Diamondbacks. -1. What do I got there, Brian? What do we got for a D-backs money line here?
While Brian's looking for that, guys, don't forget to leave a comment on the replay, leave your WagerTalk ID username, and give us your best bet, and you will be in the drawing for a 3-day all-access flex pass. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
Arizona -115.
Perfect. All right, so we have reached the end of the show. We have the 3 teamers have been a little cold, but this is a great illustration of parlay betting, and how it's really difficult to win betting parlays, right? Like, we hit a couple there. It's hard to hit 3 teamers. That being said, we've never been negative, and we're going to go win or lose here. We're going into the All-Star break ahead since we started to do this. So for every dollar risk, if you played these all equally, for every dollar risk, you're up $6.90, or you can say plus 6.9 units. Either way, they've been profitable. That being said, we are on a little cold streak with the parlay. Believe we all lost our parlay leg yesterday. I think that's the first time that's happened in quite some time.
First time.
So maybe Tokyo Brandon, this is the day we all win our parlay leg, and we hit the 3-teamer. This is plus 471.
And I win my 5% play. Hopefully.
We can only hope. Yeah, we can only hope. I need a win or two. Hasn't been the best week for me in MLB after a really good 5-week run. So I'm kind of with Brian. I'm just trying to survive till Sunday, get to the break, and then we come out of the break, ready to rock. But anyway, 3-team parlay for the show. The final one of the first half is going to be White Sox plus 1.5. That is game 2. Game 2, White Sox plus 1.5 for Tokyo Brandon. Pirates Twins under 7 for Brian Leonard. And then I'm on Diamondbacks -115. One more time. That's White Sox plus 1.5 in game 2 of their doubleheader with the Guardians for TB. Pirates Twins under 7. Diamondbacks money line full game -115. Pays out plus 471. Hopefully we can finish the first half with a winner. Guys, we're off till next Friday. There's no games to talk about, so we're going to go do whatever it is that we do when we're not talking games. Hope everyone has a great
Watching
weekend.
games.
Yeah, I know. I get restless during that 4-day stretch. I got to be honest. Maybe I'll go outside or something.
Maybe
I'll
talk
find
to
an
your
outdoor
wife.
activity. Yeah. Anyway, we will be back on Friday morning, 1 week from today, to kick off the second half of the Major League Baseball season, 9 a.m. And then, of course, every day the rest of the way, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Appreciate all of you guys making this show, one of the most popular shows on the WagerTalk platform through the first half. We can't wait to have a great second half with you guys. So like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate the interaction, good or bad. We'll take whatever we can get. Don't forget to sign up. Free flex picks, can't beat that. So go on over to the replay of this show on YouTube. Drop your username, your WagerTalk username, and your best bet. 3 of you guys are going to win a 3-day flex picks pass for free. And we'll see you guys next Friday. Everyone have a great week and cash your tickets this weekend.